What is Goodreads? Goodreads is a fucking hellscape. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jalen, and today I'm going to be reacting to one-star reviews of my favorite books. So this is a video I've wanted to do for a while. I love watching these on YouTube. I think they're always very fun. And I do have some controversial faves in terms of seeing on Goodreads that some of them have quite low reviews. So I'm doing a blind reaction right now. I haven't really looked at any of the reviews aside from like the total score, basically. And I don't know how many I'm gonna do. This is just I'm in the mood to film, so we're gonna, capitalize on the urge to film. So let's start with my girl Ottessa Moshfegh. She's my fave, and let's get
angry early in this video.
Because I know y'all are about to piss me off in the reviews. But okay, so Death in Her Hands, my favorite Ottessa Moshfegh book, one of my favorites of all time. Okay, 3.22 on Goodreads. A fucking crime. 1-star reviews. Okay. Oy vey. I read Eileen years ago and didn't like it, but then I picked up My Year of Rest and Relaxation last year and loved it. So I was wary but excited to receive Death in Her Hands as an arc. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was one long stream of consciousness of an old and lonely lady making up stories and scenarios in her head. The premise of the book was great, but it just didn't deliver. The ending was the final nail in the coffin for a 1-star review. Well, I couldn't disagree more. I mean, it is about an old lady making up stories and scenarios in her head, sort of, but that misses a lot of the nuance of what Moshfegh is doing in the book, looking at why she's having these kind of spiraling anxieties and thoughts. The story that she crafts is very intentional and is looking a lot at a woman who has suffered from an abusive relationship and thinking about her longings for a life that she didn't live in old age, and seeing that played out in a really cool, like, metaphysical mystery sense. I mean, I don't know. Everyone has different tastes, but I don't know. I would disagree. I would disagree. Okay, let's see if there's a few more. What the fuck did I just read? Anyone, please.
You read a masterpiece, sir.
Okay, I won an advance copy of this book from a Goodreads giveaway, and I wish I hadn't. I'm laughing because when people are mad, it's kind of funny. Especially in reviews. I am hurt by these reviews, but it's all right. So the book synopsis made this book sound like an intersecting murder mystery, but instead, it was a mystery why anyone would like this book. From the pointless and random ramblings to the missing plot, there was nothing here that I enjoyed. I only finished the book so that I could feel okay leaving a 1-star review. Well, I mean, I would argue that the ramblings are not random and pointless. I think everything in that book serves a purpose. I mean, Goodreads it's tough because, like, where's the nuance? Like, let's get into the text. Let's not just, like, in summation, give, like, the most surface level kind of overview of what the book is about. I mean, I think there's so much there that is left unexplored in these reviews that I've seen. I don't know, maybe there's some more in-depth reviews here that I'm missing. I'm just picking randomly, but I think this book is it's a smart look at writing itself. I think Ottessa Moshfegh, for reasons that are kind of contained within these reviews, she's addressing them in a very meta way in terms of trying to write a murder mystery and kind of examining what it means to have an unlikable character in your story. So Vesta, the main character, she is looking up kind of guides to writing a murder mystery novel, and I think that was a perfectly, like, meta way of her kind of getting ahead of some criticisms here. So I don't know. I'm sensing tastelessness from these reviews, but just kidding. But anything I say here, I'm just, I'm having fun. Everyone has their own opinions. I'm just messing around, y'all. Let's do Fake Accounts by Lauren Euler. I stan, probably my favorite book of this year. Paperback should be coming out soon. I plan to reread this book for reasons that you shall see what those reasons are, hopefully soon. This one has a, 2.96. What the that's, okay. That is a crime. That is a crime. What is Goodreads? Goodreads is a fucking hellscape. Okay. So mostly 3-star reviews. A lot of 5s and 1s, though. Quite a divisive read. Let's see, 1 stars. The first one I see has a lot of likes, so this was appallingly bad. And so many people edited, though clearly not very thoroughly, and reviewed and actually got through the slog of a 272-page novel, and still concluded that it's heralding in some new era or genre of contemporary millennial fiction is, well, yikes, to say the least. The marketing of this novel promised an extremely online-style story centered around the narrator's discovery that her boyfriend is peddling conspiracy theories on Instagram on the eve of Trump's inauguration. That plot is discarded after 30 pages and instead serves unconvincingly as the impetus for her not-so-transformative foray into the Berlin dating scene. As a fan of plotless books, I'm not averse to stream of consciousness, meandering philosophical arguments, and paragraphs devoid of periods. What? Sorry, I'm reading this whole thing because I'm just like, What makes Euler's novel so unpalatable is that it is saturated with self-obsession. She obviously considers herself much more perceptive than she actually is. I say she/herself because it's very hard for me to believe, given the similarities between the two, that the narrator could be anything but a reflection of Euler, and that this is more memoir than novel.
Well, let me stop you right there.
Because absolutely not. That is the point of this book. It is clearly Euler's examination and playing with the reader in terms of autofiction. It's a big theme, and a lot of her criticism in this book itself is her playing with autofiction. And it's funny seeing a critical review kind of take a stab at her and basically making this book seem like a memoir about her when it's clearly not. And I've seen many interviews with her talking about this book and how she clearly makes the case that this is not her. This is not a memoir. This is not even really autobiographical fiction in that sense. It's autofiction playing with certain aspects of her identity, putting it into the story, but that's not her. And a lot of the cringy kind of bad takes or like the unlikableness of the character here is very intentional, I think, on Euler's part. And so I think it's interesting seeing people not like those aspects because I loved them. So I do think this book, for these reasons, would make a great book club book or just like a buddy read with a group of friends. Like that's what I did with the Book Hotties back in like February of this year. We all read it around the same time, and so we all talked about it, and I think it's a really good book to unpack on that front. And I think autofiction is a very interesting, current, contemporary millennial fiction device that is being used right now, and I think Euler is at the front of that. And I think she has an essay collection coming out next year, I want to say, maybe, about autofiction, and she's already written some pieces on it. So yeah, I'm going to stop this reviewer right there and say that is kind of twisting the intention of Euler here. I think this narrator is very self-obsessed, and I thought it was entertaining to read that and seeing how she's navigating the Berlin dating scene and being completely self-absorbed and analyzing the way that her kind of manifesting this persona through different, basing herself in different archetypes of the astrological signs on these dates that she goes on and crafting an internet persona and thinking about that all within the backdrop of what happens at the beginning of the novel is a perfect, development for Euler to give some more kind of like some criticism basically in the form of a novel. And it was just so fun for me to read in terms of her blending all these things in a masterful way. So this 1-star review, I disagree. Okay. Imagine writing a book where the basic message on every page was, I wish I wasn't writing a book. I would say that's not true. I think Euler definitely wanted to write this book, and I think the kind of cynicism and, self-deprecation or like negativity in terms of actually writing the book is very intentional in terms of thinking about contemporary millennial fiction narrators and kind of using it as satire is how I read it. I mean, this book is a lot about novels, and so in the midst of her writing this novel, she examines a lot of other books, recent books. And so I don't think that is true. So, and that was the whole review, which, where is the nuance? What makes you think that she's saying that? I mean, Goodreads should require analysis before they post. Don't you think? I mean, just like, come on. Oh my God. Lauren Euler, a good writer, produces a failure so complete, I found myself wanting an acid review of it from Lauren Euler. The acid review of the book is the book. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. The book clearly, I think, flew over people's heads, and it makes me sad because I don't know, it's wild. I think it's fun that it's so divisive, though. I think that's the intention. I think it's very clear what she's doing to me, and I mean, I don't know. Again, the taste. Where is the taste? Real Life is a favorite. I'll do a few more books, and then we'll call it. All right, Real Life. Loved it. Not many 1-star reviews. That's good. Good sign. All right, gay black man engages in painfully awkward interactions, belittlement, and abuse, feels hopeless, depressed, and occasionally suicidal. There is zero plot, and all his, quote, friends, with friends like these, are in bad relationships. Reading this is akin to trudging through thick mud forever and ever. See, reviews like that make me, for lack of a better word, annoyed, because sure, like, it is about a queer black student with these feelings, grappling with childhood trauma, dealing with microaggressions from his peers at college. That is in the book, but this review doesn't offer any analysis of what the book is doing. I hate reviews that just criticize a book for what it contains rather than how it explores the topics in it. Because if you're mad that the book is about a gay black man going to call, like, why'd you pick it up? You know what I mean? Like, it's very clearly about that from the synopsis. And if you're criticizing it for having that, like, that's just so bad. I don't know. Not to drag this reviewer, but I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I really wanted to like this book. The idea had so much potential. I just wasn't a fan. Everything was explained in such detail, like every little thing mattered, but it was just obnoxious and exhausting. The way the book ended was disappointing. To just go back to the beginning when nothing had happened, nothing being resolved, to just start over really left a bad taste in my mouth. It is definitely not a book I'd recommend, and I don't intend to read anything else from this author. Well, I mean, that's not true. Why are these people lying? These people are lying. Not lying, maybe just the point flew over their heads. I mean, things happen in this book. A lot of shit happens in this book over the course of one weekend. I would not say it's just nothing happens and it's a reset. I mean, there's a fundamental change that happens to Wallace in this book due to a key relationship that he is involved in throughout this weekend and amidst all of his peers, and how those dynamics change over the course of one weekend. Anyways, next book. I Hold the Wolf by the Ears by Laura Vandenberg, my favorite short story collection, one of my favorite short story writers. She is my favorite short story writer, I must say. This book is absolutely incredible, so let's see what the people have to say. Not many 1 stars. We love to see it. So one does say, "Dear God, I don't want to be mean, but what the hell did I waste my time reading? This book was not for me. I couldn't get through her book, The Third Hotel, either." Another one says, "Read 2 of the short stories, scanned the title one, just don't see any redeeming qualities." I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, is what I'm getting from these reviews. I mean, hey, different opinions. I don't know. I'm glad to see there's not a lot of, strong criticism for the collection. It seems like a lot of 4 and 5 star reviews, as they should. Okay. Oh, Crossroads, Jonathan Franzen. I wonder if there's anyone hating on it already. It seems to be quite loved so far, which I'm very glad to see, but I know he's a controversial author, so let's see. Sorry I'm looking down a lot of this video. I'm looking at my iPad. I apologize. What a god-awful, boring book. I picked it because I listened to and enjoyed the corrections, but this book was not even close to that earlier work. I was not prepared for all the Christian guilt, the shallow and thoroughly boring characters in this book. Do yourself a favor and find another book. I'm flabbergasted by these reviews. This is wild. I've never done this before, really, reading 1-star reviews of books that I love. This is crazy.
This is wild. This is wild. This is insane.
That people can have such different opinions. Like what? Boring and shallow characters. No. No. There's so much to unpack in this book for every single character. Except maybe the 12-year-old son. He doesn't really get much, I was going to say screen time, page time, I guess. But every character is very, very, very well fleshed out. You understand their, traumas, their desires, what is, the hurdles in their lives that is stopping them from getting what they want due to familial and religious ties, I guess, and seeing how they navigate that and personal desire amidst the kind of moral duty to one's family, and how do you all navigate that? How is that boring? How is that boring? It is it does everything that a novel should do in terms of giving us characters that we care about, that are complex, that we hate in certain instances, but we see and understand where they're coming from and trying to grapple with that. I mean, it's so meaty. That is wild that someone thinks that. I think this book is better than the corrections, I will say. I think the corrections is phenomenal as well, but I think Franzen was really in his bag with this in terms of giving us interesting, well-developed characters like he did in the corrections, but this one just felt so, I don't know if timeless is the right word, maybe. All right, one more review that says, "Don't get me wrong, this was well written, but there was no real course to the story, and then it just ended out of nowhere." I mean, no. No, that is not true. What? No real course to the story. What do you mean? There's so much going on here. I mean, we do get a lot of backdrop leading up to what's going on this day. So it's set in Christmas Eve of 1971 mostly, but there's so much that leads to the climax of the novel I don't want to spoil anything, but like it causes a major, you know, fracture in this family, and you see kind of where loyalties lie, or it kind of gives you a cliffhanger as to where loyalties lie, but you kind of get a sense of where things are going to go. I have no words other than that. I disagree. Okay, one more book. Let's do one more. Okay, let's Detransition Baby, another favorite of the year. Let's see what people... I don't want to see what people are saying about this, actually. Okay, let's see. Let me just find one that's not fucking... actually talks about the book. Let's start there. One of the worst books I've ever read. The characters were not likable and just continued to hurt each other and be hurt by other people on purpose. Sorry. It's like they all just wanted as much pain as possible. All right, let me end this video. Because, I mean, oh my god. That's, like... I hate a review that's like, the characters weren't likable, and so, like, I don't like this book. Okay, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I had fun doing this, even though people were pissing me off in these reviews, because this is, like... there's so much just that's wrong about these. You're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's fine.
Entitled to my... Why are you entitled, Holly, and not me?
You're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's fine.
Bam!
Wow. Could not disagree more with these people. But hey, at least we have platforms to discuss these books, right? On the positive note, everyone has different opinions on books. Everyone has different experiences and perspectives. And it's always good. That's why I love a discussion, a book club moment. It's fun to get different viewpoints, but sometimes the reviews are just not it, especially on Goodreads. I mean, that's a hell site, I strongly think. Anyways, hope you liked it. Let me know if you want to see more of these. I will keep doing them if you find them entertaining. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.